Okay. So now let's do another question. Let's do another question. Idai kuisa ipuisha vekumbi. We'll finish it as I solve it for you. I'll solve some questions for you and then I'll send. So now, do you have your papers with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So write this question. Two ropes are tied to a common point. Two ropes are tied to a common point. Two ropes are tied to a common point. Two ropes are tied to a common point and pulled. Two ropes are tied to a common point and pulled. Full stop. The angle between the ropes is 40 degrees. The angle between the ropes is 40 degrees. The angle between the ropes is 40 degrees. The tensions in the ropes are 8 Newton and 6 Newton respectively. The tensions in the ropes are 8 Newton and 6 Newton respectively. Find the magnitude and direction of the resultant force. Find the magnitude and direction of the resultant force. Find the magnitude and direction of the resultant force. So now, guys, have you copied the question? Have you written it? Have you written it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tandio, you should be more extension, Tandio.
The question.
Where are you behind, madam? Chose.
The first part of the question.
Two ropes
Just
are tied to a common point and pulled. Two ropes are tied to a common point and pulled. The angle between the ropes is 40 degrees. The angle between the ropes is 40 degrees. The tensions in the ropes are 8 Newton and 6 Newton respectively. The tensions in the ropes are 8 Newton and 6 Newton respectively. Find the magnitude and direction of the resultant force. Find the magnitude and direction of the resultant force. Charlton.
Sir?
Do you have a question? You have unmuted yourself.
No.
Okay. Have you copied now? Chose.
I'm clear, sir.
Okay. So now, this question is one of the simplest and the sweetest Now I'm gonna finish the book one box. Should po weekend. Remember? Why? Because it's one of the nicest ones that are out there. Most of the times, naka diagram kusangana ba draw it up, which is what you want. Kai mama students tamufu kuchura hiyo. This is the diagram. So put 6 Newton and 8 Newton. Where you put the 6 Newton and the 8 Newton doesn't matter, as long as what is between them, the angle between them is 40 degrees. So this is how it looks. 8 Newton and 6 Newton respectively. This one, guys, is one of the beautiful questions because Kadiba easy. Everyone enjoys because it's too straightforward. Because it is too straightforward. The only thing that you must be good at there is that you should know that this question, to solve it, you apply what is called parallelogram law. Remember what parallelogram law, guys? Parallelogram law.
No, no, sir.
You never heard of a parallelogram?
No, sir.
Because parallelogram now I'm grade 9. Because in the patch word about it from the parallelogram grade 9.
We just know parallelogram as a shape, but not the parallelogram law, sir.
Okay. No, it's just a parallelogram. So you complete a parallelogram, that's the first thing. You complete the parallelogram like that. You complete a parallelogram, triangle. This one should be in dashes because coffee. My mother. Like that. So this side is parallel to that side, so they are equal. So they are equal. Even this side is parallel to that side, so they are also equal. So you transpose. Remember, as parallel vectors are equal vectors. Like if you have vectors that are parallel and of the same magnitude, then they are the same vector. So you put 8 Newton on top and 6 Newton on the side, like that. This is what you do. 8 Newton and 6 Newton on the side. That's what you do. Then the parallelogram law is that law like you want a law, no. The parallelogram law is that like you remember now for this one, for the parallelogram law, you just say the opposite angles are equal. Opposite. So if this is 40, ni 40. If this is 40, it means even that one is what? 40. Opposite angles are equal. And adjacent angles add up to 180. So if you have an angle here, the angle there, the next angle you could read up is 180 minus 40. So what is 180 minus 40? It's also 40, is it?
140.
140, sir.
It's 140, sir.
140 degrees.
140. Like this. 140. So could we come 140. A parallelogram law no. To a shape opposite angles are equal and adjacent angles add up to 180. Mind More guys.
Kebu mwachibomvya basate ro. If you chifurunganya naina. Tukaya ko parallelogram law.
Oh.
You just forgot or something.
Two more rules. My man. So now, then what you do is from that corner, ama vectors you add head to tail. So you can choose any two of the vectors. You can't add head, and tail and head and tail. So you can't do the resultant here. So the resultant, you draw a diagonal. You draw a what team? A diagonal. So you draw a diagonal. I'm in class, mom. Okay. So my man, you should bear with me. Teaching from mom is a challenge. I can't ignore. We want to have an important one. Go to mommy. Have you seen this, guys?
Yes.
Now my mother.
Yes.
So EA resultant. EA what team? A resultant. So to find the magnitude, you use what is called to find the magnitude. Go to mommy. Go to mommy, mom. Are there any questions? Nothing much. I have a question, guys.
So I wanted to ask about this diagonal line where it's written FR. Now you have said it's fine.
Okay, it's resultant first. The other is for resultant. Okay, so now when you have this,
Sir.
yes. Paul.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Okay.
Sir, if it's the resultant force, then what is the magnitude of that? Like
the magnitude is the size. When you find the value,
the line that you have drawn, is the magnitude of that. Okay,
so
so we haven't found the value first.
That's the question.
Okay, basa. Nachirubana kainadisha ila kwa yesterday sharo ginye basa naripuswa.
And you from extension class was encroached. You have a question? And you have a question? So now, to solve this, guys, you have to use a triangle. Either it and punch. Now, when you cut this diagonal into, like when you put this diagonal, it cuts this into two equal shapes. So you just choose one. Then, for this one to solve it, you get, unless mweba pia sana kula bachapu ili kishoko apanga 90 degrees zero asasanga. Mwemvole? But you for us the easy thing is just to use the cosine rule. For us is just to use the what team? The cosine rule. So you say FR squared equals 8 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 8 times 6 cos 140. When you do that, FR squared equals 8 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 8 times 6 cos 140. And you remember all students take chemistry. Cos 140 will be negative. So apawaraso sange, you are adding. So this is how you go about it, this question. Then to get the direction is because it was magnitude and direction. I think that's what one person wanted to ask. No, what do you mean magnitude? Ni direction and shape? Because there were two things there. Why magnitude and direction? The direction always, guys, for vectors is the angle. So meaning they're asking you, what is the angle between one of the sides and the resultant? So you, after finding what FR is using this formula, then you get what FR is, you put your value there. Then you find now like a small angle up, either alpha, or if you want, if 6 is your favorite number, you can call that one beta. So you can, these angles, I put it up. Most of the people would think it's just half of 40 and beneath, 20, no, they are not. So you use now the sine rule. The sine rule is this one, you already know what is this, is opposite this one. Then this one is opposite this one. So the sine rule, you say sine alpha over 6 is equal to sine 140 over whatever value of FR you will get. Over sine 140 over whatever value of FR you will get. So these are the only rules: cosine rule, sine rule, Pythagoras theorem. The rest of the things, I'll explain them as we go. But as far as the doing vectors, now muchaya sana so hapa mchuma mani mtapale futu chaile, but now muchaya, so you are even ready. Mambo guys, are there any questions? Don't worry about this. I've said I'll solve it. Your friends in the extension always have an advantage because nganami funde so nami lembelama notes vena bala kwa tsari mama notes elomba funde kai babu shuku bafude bakwata ku advantage kofe na vena akabofi because na limonati extension mwadi mwenamu. Yes, Changu.
Pass screen. Kapepa mkwete kalete nko pass screen. Like closer, yes. On top just. Kabesha panono fukunwe he.
Mayoba Changwe, you are using a lot of vernacular. Let's use English in class. Eh? Kabafi pano no, what's that?
Sir, I have a question, but it's not really related to what you were talking.
Yes.
Are you going to send the video later on? Because I personally didn't join the first meeting, so I'm kind of confused. Are you going to send the video?
Your friends are recording also. I'm sure they will give you more groups here and edit. I'll see.
Okay.
Yes. Are there any other questions, guys?
Sir.
Ezekiel.
Hello. Yes, sir.
You're driving.
No, I'm just yeah. How do you find the direction? I'm not so clear about that.
The direction is the angle between one of these forces we mentioned and the resultant. Any angle, as long as you have to state in the end to say this degrees with the 8 Newton force, or this degrees with a 6 Newton force. So how you find it? You use the sine rule.
Yeah.
So sine alpha over 6 is equal to sine 140 over FR.
So
yes.
You mean to say that the value of the angle which you are going to get is the direction?
Yes, the value of the angle you get is the direction.
All right, thank you, sir.
Sure.
Sir. I don't know if this question, I'm asking a question which is way ahead. Maybe you're going to explain.
Yes.
But then I have tried to solve the question. Yes, I've tried. But then when you find the FR,
yes,
is there a specific amount, like when you're rounding it off, is there a specific thing, like you should just round, it should be only left to 2 decimal places, or
2 decimal places.
You just have to write the whole answer?
2 decimal places
okay.
is okay.
All right.
But allow me to mean the online. Sure.
Sir.
Yeah, Mpende.
I also have a question. Okay. My question is related to what Ezekiel asked. But when we talk of direction in vectors, don't we mean east, west, what? Now, when you say it's the angle is what will determine the direction, I really don't get it. So can you kindly clarify that? I don't know.
With respect to this, the direction is the angle at which your force is acting. The direction is an angle at which the force is acting. Because so directions are different. Even -8 meters, the negative is the direction. So it's not cast in concrete that every direction should be north, south, west, whatever. No. I'm sure you get it. So for this one, the direction is always just the angle that it makes with one of those. Because when you say that, then someone can easily draw it. Yes, next. Any question? Because yako ana 10 hours, so that you prepare for your next lesson.
Sir.
Isaac.
Sir.
Yes.
Here where you've written 8 newtons to the power 2 plus 6 newtons to the power 2. Where is the power 2 coming from?
Ni cosine rule boy. Tenene waipangire yo. I'm not the one waipangire. Afo ya wafe cosine rule. Mopituruke momudi to cosine rule to akusugu. Mwali chaide moba inambo cosine rule. Because I'm not here to do.
Also, on formula.
Formula cosine rule. Mwali chat c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. Mwali chaide with everything. Did you those? Mr. Inamba, did you those?
We did. Yes, we did.
Cosine rule, remember it? And sine rule. That's
yes,
why I told you that the first thing you have to do with vectors, to trig pano no fie, to trig pano no fie to trig. So the rest of the things we'll be doing is application of these things: trig functions, Pythagoras theorem, cosine rule, sine rule. You get it?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Any other question? Can we conclude? Sorry, guys, we've just had the 2 examples, but I'm thinking they're enough. Don't you think? I'm thinking they're enough. So we've just had 2 examples, and I think they're enough. But there are some more that I'll put in my own ink. Give me time. Especially this one is strenuous if you're Mazumo, should appear sana. But I'll make sure that whatever it is that we've talked about here, I write it somewhere so that you can see. Okay? Yes, Doc. Mpenda.
Basa aka first kali abatini ka chimpita ko pano no aka tuma wai na shani. Oh, so I didn't understand.
All right.
Sorry for the
That's why I've said I'll write it on on ink and we'll continue the debate somewhere. I'll write all these things and then you will see them. I'll write probably with a bit of some explanations there in the paper. Are we okay, guys? Stefania, you have a question? Okay.
Yes, we are just waiting for the notes, sir.
For the what? Oh, now move for fiance. You are
the notes,
notes, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy.
My net was bad, but I wanted to ask on what Mpenda said.
Okay, no, I'll send the notes. I've already said. Or you wanted to ask to say the first things you didn't understand them that much. Y and X are the components of a vector. So a vector at an angle always has a Y and an X. The Y is the vertical. The X is the horizontal. So that's the reason in there. Y is vertical, X is horizontal. So that's the case with vectors. Vectors always have X and Y component. So if you have a Cartesian plane and then you have your force, then you're going to have Fx and Fy and theta, like this. Fx and Fy, like that. These are at 90 degrees with each other. Those are at 90 degrees with each other. So the reasoning is that the force is the Pythagoras theorem. Then the angle is tan inverse Fy, which is opposite over hypotenuse. So as you can see, these the angle is within the horizontal. Angle is with the what team? The horizontal. If you use an angle on top there, Nishi, Kwisalanda, upper dinan. Instead of doing that, this tan inverse, if you have these two, by tan inverse, the F and the X should change. If the angle you're finding is on top there. But this expression is just the same for everything. So there's Pythagoras theorem and SOHCAHTOA. You get it? Feeling you then because I'll try my best. And Madia Muksta settled down after Mustaka settled down. Everton, you have a question?
Yes, yeah, I'm clear a bit there. Now on using the sine 32 and the cos 32 there, you just exchange like the words. The first one you put a sine and the second one you put a cos, eh?
No, the location of the angles was what was important there, Madam Everdeen. I said that if the angle is with the vertical, e.g. is there, it's drawn from the vertical line, which is this line here, then the x in cos sine, then y will put cos. You get it? But then for these ones where the angle is with the horizontal, which is almost always the case, fx is f cos theta, fy is f sine theta. So that's the way it is. So meaning if it is the alpha you're using, you say fx is f sine alpha. So if the angle is with the vertical line, then when you say cos, if it's here, you say sine. Or you say sine, you say what in cos. It depends on where you have drawn the angle from. Is it from the vertical line or the horizontal